Definitely, we still face gender discrimination here in Azerbaijan, just like in many other countries. There might be many different explanations. For instance, a typical one would be a historical explanation, namely, it's a remnant of the past, of patriarchal society, when men hold power and women were largely excluded from it. But yet the question is why it still continues now in the 21st century, in 2022, after all these revolutions, transformations, changes in society and culture. I believe that it has something to do with human psychology, with emotional stubbornness, because it's easier to live with already established standards, norms, mentality instilled by the previous generations. So there is a lack of critical rethinking, and people follow basically their traditions. On the other hand, obviously women themselves are responsible for their rights and freedom. If they don't demand, if they don't struggle, if they are not active enough, hardly something can change. On the other hand, I would like also to mention one specific issue, because freedom and rights also means responsibilities. That's why both women and even men should be perfectly aware of what they mean when they talk about freedom, equality, because someone might ask a question: if women want absolute equality, well, that means that they should also join the military, just like men. And I'm not sure that all women in our society are prepared for that, and even men as well. So there are definitely many issues to be discussed if we talk about equality. Well, naturally, we all have witnessed this kind of cases when women are controlled by men, when men make decisions alone, when, for instance, fathers do not allow their daughters to travel abroad or study abroad, especially when they are not accompanied by a male. And this was a recent case. My mother told me a story, since she works in a pharmaceutical company that distributes Chinese organic medicines. They had a very active, responsible worker, a young student who studies at a medical university. She was able to distribute within a short period of time many medicines to different patients and earned a considerable amount of money. And the company, as a reward, decided to offer her to travel to China at the expense of the company. But unfortunately, when her father knew about it, he personally came to that company and decided to speak with the director in order to show his concern and protest by saying that this is absolutely inappropriate that you pay such an amount of money to my daughter. She's only a girl, a first-year student, and I find it completely irrelevant that you offer her to travel to China alone. Yes, so unfortunately, these kind of typical cases more or less happen quite often in our society. Well, the most important thing, I think, is to actively and continuously discuss these problems, issues, both on private and public levels. It will not be something easy. I believe it will be much more problematic with the older generation. However, there might be fewer obstacles in the case of the younger generation. And it will take time. It's not something that could be solved within 10 years or so. One can do actually many things in order to achieve this goal, like the creation of serious organizations that would promote these ideas and defend the rights of women, organization of different events dedicated to this topic, publications, creation of different films, documentaries, for instance. As soon as we are able, through these discussions and critical examination of these issues, to change our way of thinking, we will consequently change our lives, our society.